Well, here we are at the charts, taking a look at some of the JPY pairs, and I want to show you AUD JPY first. Here's a pair that is pulling back today, and honestly, it looks sort of appetizing, in my opinion, for possible long setups. Now, of course, if you are newer to my channel, then you may not know this, but if you have been with me for a while, you know that my predominant focus when looking to enter trades is to find major areas of support and resistance, or supply and demand, whatever you'd like to call them. But the main idea is looking for key spots on the chart where we could find bounces and continuations, more importantly, to an upside move if we are trending higher, or a downside move if we're trending lower. Now, what I like specifically about the Aussie yen here on the 1 hour chart today is that we're coming down into an area of support where we've had previous consolidation several times, right? We saw a price consolidate over here. We saw the breakout. We saw this area hold twice, and then now retesting. Now, the one thing that is a little bit concerning for the Aussie yen here is that you do kind of have a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern here. But a lot of people will say, well, Nick, that's a head and shoulders, it's time to short. But the idea here being that for me, a head and shoulders pattern does not matter too much until we really see a key break of structure, right? So yes, we are seeing something of a higher and lower low, but the idea is, can we actually get a breakout to the downside before selling? Now, if that's something that you're looking for, if you are bullish on the yen right now, then perhaps there is some ideas of looking for that breakout. But for the current time being, it does look like we're seeing a little bit of structure here as price pulls back to this 83.4 level. So possibly I'd say that Aussie yen looks appealing for possible buys and continuation to the upside at this time. So one more level that I do want to point out if you are watching Aussie yen is we'll keep tabs on this area here down at the 82.9 give or take area. So two levels to keep in mind on Aussie yen going into this week. Okay, next up, we're going to take a look at CAD yen, which is also pulling back here a little bit today. Now, this one, you guys, last week was a beast. We're looking here at the 1 hour chart, and you'll notice price pulled just back to the trend line here that we can draw. Trend lines are a little bit subjective, but for me, it's just the general idea of higher lows coming into this market. And there's clearly a lot of demand here on the CAD yen. Now, as we pull back today, it looks like before I could even get this video started, we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback. I was going to say that my more interested area, though, on CAD yen was a pullback to something like the 90.5 zone for possible pickup on the long side. Now, if we take a look, if we scroll out a little bit, we also have another level of key past resistance turn support, which has already been tested once. We saw the big break, we saw the pullback, and continuations, right? So this idea, if it does come into play, are two levels that I do like on CAD yen going into this week. Next up, we'll take a look at USD JPY. Now, this is a big one, and this one, I'm actually bullish on dollar right now. I actually have an open position on the Euro USD. I'll just show it to you just for fun. So I shorted the Euro dollar up in this area. That's another topic for another video. Perhaps we'll see it in a video in the future. But the idea being here, I am bullish on the dollar, because remember, if I'm shorting EU, right, that means that I'm buying the dollar and I'm shorting the euro. So again, bullish on the dollar right now, and huge hold right here. Very impressive move on the dollar yen as price pulled back to 115.05 in the recent session here in the London session. So of course, the idea being here that we could see continuations and maybe a move back up to the high, which I really like for possible, just trend continuation here on dollar yen going into the new year. I am bullish on this pair. Okay, one more level to consider though, if things do suddenly flush to the downside, we do have 114.75, let's call it, down here, which is also another appealing area for yen weakness, in my opinion, or dollar yen strength. Now, we'll take a look at GBP JPY, which is one that I've really wanted to be trading, but I can't do it, you guys. I gotta wait for the proper entry. Now, two areas that stick, well, actually, I'll give you three on this one. If you're shorter term and you're just looking for a bounce and trend continuation, I like this area. I think that on the 1 hour chart, there is an opportunity possibly for a little bit of a bounce and continuation of this trend, especially if we enter into, a period of consolidation here where we just continue to bounce back and forth. It's not the worst idea, in my opinion, to look at that for a possible entry for just a bounce and continuation up. So that's my idea there on pound yen for the first part, but two areas I wanted to show you guys. This is the 1 hour chart, so it's going to be a little bit choppy, but just generally speaking, this area of consolidation, we sat there for, let's see, let's actually use our chart here, or our tool here. We sat there for a full 2 days basically, just under, 2 days or so before breaking out to the upside. So 2 days of thinking about price at this area before deciding that the market wanted to go higher. So for me, what that signals is that that area could act as another supportive structure level. So we'll tighten it up just a little bit. Specifically, I like this area here at 154.4 for possible buy continuations. So again, the reason I'm doing this in parts, the reason I'm saying if and then and all these different places on the charts is because I may take a trade. Let's say, for example, that I took a long trade here. And let's say that I stopped out, right? I may actually look to re-enter my trade at a better entry point down here and repeat the process. And perhaps that second one is the one that's going to work out very well. I sometimes will do this. If I have a bullish bias on something, I may look at 2 different levels. And I hope that this is maybe a lesson for some traders out there who like that style. If they want to have, the chance to be forgiven, right? You can always take a small stop loss with a small position and look to re-enter at perhaps a better level. In fact, sometimes what I'll do is, let's say I kind of like this level, I actually size my positions differently. So we'll just keep it very simple. Let's say that I am doing 0.05 at this level and I decide to do 0.08 at this level, right? So the first one doesn't work out, it's no big deal. The second one, I decide that I like that level a little bit more, so I'm willing to risk better. This is something that you should spend your own time detailing out, right? Within your own trading strategy, you should have a position sizing approach that works for you, meaning, how much do you want to risk, and do you size differently based on the criteria of your trade? If it's a trade setup that you think is more optimal, then, think about that idea of position sizing and how much you want to risk per trade on those. So that's something I'll leave you guys with to think about. One more I do want to talk about is Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, very structurally interesting to me. Now, I'm not a big fan of buying the euro at this time, but I had to include it on this list for those of you guys who do trade it, but also for people who really are just technical traders. This is a pretty beautifully technically strong chart. Couple areas that stick out to me real easy. This was a beautiful buy had you gotten in on the break and retest here. Just clean, right? And that's kind of the stuff that I'm looking for, although I don't trade Euro Yen right now, just because I don't really love buying. Remember, I mentioned that I'm short the euro right now, so I don't really want to buy the euro, not even against the yen. So as we pull back today, there may be opportunity one here and opportunity here. So again, what I want to leave you guys with is that you have options as a trader. You have the ability to take small positions. You have the ability to select how much you put on per trade. You have the ability to choose which chart that you would like to trade and for what reasons and your personal entry criteria. But my goal with this video is to give you a couple different ideas and things to think about if you are trading the yen. And from my perspective, things are very bullish on a lot of these pairs as the yen stays weak. Now we can take a quick look here at the JXY for a second. Check this out. JXY looking weak, looking like it wants to break out of the lows of the previous move. So if that happens, if we get a flush, right, we're very possibly going to see a move down to 86.6, let's call it. And that move, you guys, is a big flush to the downside. That's a continued move there that, could really bring us to some interesting points on the yen. So that is my opinion on a lot of these pairs. Keep an eye out on these if you are looking at them going into this week. It should be very interesting to see how things play out from here. With that said, you guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.